Hey everyone! Today I will be going over the next big Sprocket update, showing all the new features, map refreshes, and changes that you will need to keep a lookout for. Let's get started! And here we are in what is currently the stable branch of Sprocket, version 0.12 free. In the experimental branch, the current version at time of recording is 0.12417. A little bit bigger of a number, but with a lot of changes packed into it. Let's just warp forward to the new version real quick. And here we are. Immediately, one thing you'll notice is... where did the tracks go? Tracks will now become hidden from plain view when using the compartment editor. If you select the whole, they disappear, and if you select a different compartment, they reappear. You also can go to the drop-down menu and change your view setting. You'll also notice that the icons for nearly everything in the bottom menu have been changed, along with the addition of new parts like commander cupolas. We can just get rid of these. And let's see how they look. Definitely French. This one won't fit as well, but let's just try it. And for the last one, there we go. A couple parts still have their original icons, such as riveted panels, but otherwise nearly all of them have been changed. There also are new parts for storage compartments and stowages. For example, we have square hooks from Germany. These should be fairly easy to place, like such. We also have new utilities such as bedrolls and tarp. Equally easy to place down practically anywhere. We also have plenty of new hooks and other pieces in the structural category. The standard round crane attachment points are still there, but we also have thicker ones, much thicker. We have simple triangular ones, and we have triangular ones with holes. Additionally, handlebars have also been added. They're much better for replica designs, notably the T-34 and other Russian tanks that utilize these. Ever wanted to be able to penetrate anything? Well, now you can. I think the recoil might be just a little bit too strong. Anyway, the penetration values have been rebalanced for pretty much all vehicle eras. For this inner war tank, we're able to achieve 130 millimeters of penetration with only a 120 millimeter gun. Originally, shell length would be displayed here under the performance category of your cannon. Now it's propellant length. As a result, armor in many vehicle eras is now nearly pointless unless you use very thick, sloped armor. On the other hand, it makes it very easy to beat practically any scenario, because all vehicles designed for the older game versions no longer have sufficient armor to withstand nearly any gun. Ammo has additionally been changed. Loader found no racks with shell size 120 by 550 and 75 by 400. This is because ammo racks are now placed individually within a compartment where you want them to be. You can move them around, you can put them in the front, you can put them in the back, you can even put them in your turret. But ammo racks are now physical objects within your tank. Ammo racks will not work if overlapping each other, if outside, or overlapping between compartments. So you have to think about where you put them. You can, though, drag them, scale them, or rotate them as desired. In the ammo storage interface, you can change which gun they're used for and the type. This does not work in unison with duplicated racks though. You have to individually adjust both of them. Once you do so, then your vehicle will be just fine. On the other hand, reload times for most guns has been decreased significantly. You'll notice with older designs, upon placing ammo in them, that they'll reload a little quicker than before, and depending on the gun caliber, far quicker than before. Well, now that we have most of the parts covered, let's take it into an actual match. For starters though, we'll need to check it out in the sandbox to make sure it actually works. One noticeable improvement with the experimental version that'll soon be released to the stable branch is the frame rate while driving is far smoother than before. Additionally, we now have a photo mode. The photo mode allows you to take pictures of your tanks with unprecedented quality, accuracy, and customization. A list of settings on how to operate the camera can be shown in the bottom left and the top right. You typically have to look for them in a bright white background, which is also fairly common in the new update. For example, you can hide the overlay by pressing U. Typically you can press a F12 to take a screenshot. Moving around is fairly simple, just WASD, and you use the mouse buttons to go up and down. You can press the comma and period to change the filter. Lots and lots of options. You can press G and it'll snap to the ground, so you can't go up or down above the average person's height. You can press shift while moving to go faster, of which this setting is also configurable in your game settings. You can enable or disable depth of field, which allows the background and foreground to look blurrier than what you're focusing on. And you can use the bracket buttons on your keyboard to change how much that affects your photo. You can also press T to enable higher graphics settings to take a photo, and press it again to disable. Let's try it out. I I would have to argue that the traction adjustments have gone a little bit too far. Way too far. Additionally, the markers for injured crew is now displayed along the bottom instead of on the side. It kind of helps when you have a lot of crew, like a lot of them. We are back on the main menu of Sprocket right now. If you didn't notice already, there is a new button right below scenarios for custom battle. I will get into this in just a second, but first we should take a look at the settings. While general hasn't changed much, there's a new option in the gameplay settings for a static crosshair. If you'll notice here, the crosshair has been changed recently to where it'll now float across the screen as you move your mouse. There's also been a change to the crosshair's design. You'll notice that there's a new shape for the crosshair along with secondary gun reloads located along the bottom. If you don't want your crosshair to float across the screen, enable the static crosshair here, and then it won't float around anymore. It'll stay put in the middle of the screen. Onto the camera settings, most of it is the same as before, but now there's settings for the photo mode. Adjusting this here is recommended. The move speed will determine how quickly the camera moves, and the boost multiplier will determine how much it affects the movement. So if you were to set it to 5 and 10, it would move extremely quickly, while moving it down would result in it moving far slower. The graphics settings have received the biggest changes. You now have more options for presets. DLSS has been added as well, along with track tail effects, which I'll demonstrate in just a moment. You can increase the quality for it if you wish, or turn it off if your computer can't handle them, which is a fairly common issue. You still have the standard max effects per vehicle and grass distance. You do have different settings down here as well, by a little bit. Debug is the same as before with a simple frames per second counter. And audio and key mapping haven't changed much, except for the additional tab for photo mode. Once you're happy with your settings, make sure to apply and accept, and let's see what custom battles look like now. Once you open the custom battle screen, you should see something kind of like this. You'll have a list of all your vehicles over here on the left, and in the middle you'll have a roster for the player team and the defending team. You can pick on the right which map you use. Currently there are free available, but this should increase as updates keep getting added. I'll start with dunes, and you can pick a time such as morning or sunrise. You can pick how cloudy it is or not cloudy. For this mission, I'll just bring in one vehicle of the AMX-8 that I was demonstrating earlier, and I have 6 static targets here defending. Let's see how it looks. 5 frames per second. Oh, now we're down to 2. Yeah, maybe I should revisit the settings a bit. And we're back. I think the frames per second is a bit better now. On the other hand, this game is absolutely beautiful with this. By all means, Sprocket has come a long way in graphics settings. Our first targets are approaching right now, although there's not much to them. There is a total of 6 of them. And where'd the turret go? There it is. Did I forget to mention about turrets being able to fly off now? Well, they can. Sprocket determines the ability for a turret to fly off when the ammunition explodes primarily by its caliber. As a result, something like this with a high caliber and low propellant length will fly off very quickly. But on the other hand, a cannon with a low caliber and high propellant length will not eject as easily. As a result, if you're looking to build tanks with turrets that fly off violently, you're going to want to build the highest caliber gun possible and not worry as much about stuffing propellant in the ammunition. Railway is another map that received an extensive makeover during the recent updates. Trees now heavily populate the area, along with a more detailed landscape and overall a much nicer scenery. One thing you'll have to watch out for is the rocks also have collision now. You have to be careful to not run into them or they could knock out your crew. Maybe not all armor is useless in this era. Where's the last guy? There he is. Ah. The taiga scenario has also received some adjustments. Dirt now sticks out a little bit better. And the trees have also received some cosmetic touches. Additionally, you have to look out for potholes, which are now found in several locations around the map. I'm back at it, this time with a little more realistic fight. Don't mind the enemy tanks flying around in the background. Yeah, they are getting a lot of airtime. Wow, okay. Might as well at least explain how that works. A unique feature about custom battles is they don't check your blueprint before loading it. As a result, you can edit many aspects of it, such as its weight, without even having the program check it to make sure it actually makes sense. To do so, simply go to your Documents and My Games folder, and then go to Sprocket, Factions, and if you have a lot like me, just search for the vehicle you want. Which even then, that doesn't help me because I have so many of them. I'll just pick this one. Once you've opened your blueprint file in Notepad or whatever editing software you use, look for the mass value that's right up here at the top. This is not going to be in tons outright because the decimal period is moved 3 places over. So this here is 59.746 tons, not 59,746 tons. If you wish to change this value, make sure to note where that period is and decrease the mass to whatever you wish. Or increase it if that's what you prefer. For this experiment, I'm going to do 1.5 tons, which means I need 1546. Then just save it and load it into a custom battle. Make sure to not override it though if you want the mass value to stay, because once you load it into the tank designer and save, it will remove the mass override. And here we go. You can tell the weight is significantly affecting it already because it shakes from simply jumping, which by all means is not normal. Oh. And that's a wrap. I am very excited for the full release of all the features that this update has to offer, including the ones that will probably be added after I've recorded this video. If you are concerned about this update potentially causing issues with some of your creations, take a look at my previous video where I show how to make a copy of all your Sprocket blueprints. Thanks for watching and see you all soon.